Holy shit. Ugh. I feel like I'm 3/4 still asleep. Yep. Editing up the vlog, or uploading the vlog, I should say. I got done uploading it and I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll go play some fucking video games. Fired up the old, dirty, poorly built CyberpowerPC. You know? Fire up the old fucking Unreal Tournament. Get into Unreal Tournament. Doing really good my first round. You know, fucking just dominating people. I came in 3rd place out of 8. Not too bad for a guy who hasn't played that kind of game in such a long time. Kicking arse and all that, doing great. All of a sudden, fucking computer locks up. Like, big time locks up. I already did the driver updates. I've already done all that shit. It's running the latest and greatest video drivers. It's running the latest and greatest friggin' Catalyst Control Center. Latest and greatest Windows updates. All that bullshit. Everything's up to date. Motherboard drivers, all that shit. So, the only thing that keeps coming across my mind is Don2323 when he was trying to play Grand Theft Auto 5 on his PC and it kept locking up, which is what mine did too. When I tried to live stream Grand Theft Auto 5 from that computer, she fucking locked up tight. So, his fix for it was that he upgraded back to Windows 7. So, I think today's objective will be to upgrade the CyberPC to Windows 7 from Windows 10. And a lot of you in the audience are going to be fucking like, that's not an upgrade, dude, you're going backwards. Well, you're not thinking outside the box, and that's the major problem right there. Now I know by going back to Windows 7, I'm going to lose things like DirectX 12 and, well, that's about it. But I'm going to gain so much more. Currently, I don't play any games that require DirectX 12. Chances are I probably never will for a while because we're still pretty far off for DirectX 12 based games. So I really don't see anything that I'm losing, and you know, if it comes down to it, later on I need it back. I have the install disk for Windows 10. I can just put it back on the system and be done with it. Alrighty, well we have the stock ATI drivers, which we might use just to get the rig going. We got the Windows 10 CD, which we don't need right now. We got a Looney there just to open up my Kangaroo AnyBox. And we got the drivers for the MSI motherboard. So we are good to go. Let's get this installation of Windows 7 en route. Okay, I was chatting with my cousin who also had this problem with Windows 10 and the R9 380 video card. And he was saying he had to do a bunch of hot fixes. And I just did the hot fixes. So I'm going to give Unreal Tournament another try before I blast it. See how this works. Same with Grand Theft Auto, and if it fucks around, Windows 7's going on. I'd like to keep it on Windows 10 because it is the latest and greatest, and I'm sure Microsoft's going to fix shit as time goes by. I'm also going to check the Microsoft updates here and see what's really going on. There's another program I should install. Where did that go? It's something about the video card cooling. It's like, oh, if you want better cooling, you need to install this. Okay, no, that's all for the 980. Let's give Unreal Tournament another go, and we'll see how bad it sucks, like how bad the computer dies, and we'll go from there. And she shit the bed of fucking GAN. Oh, I'm telling you, don't buy a CyberpowerPC if you want reliability, or don't use Windows 10, one of the two. I gotta reboot. Real power button here. Yeah, there we go. So, let's boot into the BIOS if she'll actually turn back on. We'll see what happens here. BIOS on this thing's kind of weird, but let's see if we can boot into the USB key here. And let's see if we can get Windows 7 to install. Apparently not. What the fuck, man? I've installed all the hotfixes. I've installed everything. Short of ripping out the 380, using it for target practice and getting a real video card. Because like I said before, ever since AMD bought ATI, AMD products have just sucked. Like, their best processor equals that of an i5. Actually, an i5 dominates it. So why would anyone buy an AMD? To save money and have unreliable service? Probably. I'd never buy another AMD product. Like the fact that this computer came with an AMD R80, I was all excited. R9 380. I was all excited at first. I'm like, holy shit, about a high-end AMD card. This should be interesting. Turns out it's a pile of piss, but it could be Windows 7 or Windows 10 doing it too. So, for some reason, it won't boot off my USB drive. I don't know what the fuck's really going on there, so I'll have to figure that out. And yeah, just a pain in the cock. Friggin' computer won't boot from my Windows 7 CD or from a USB disk. Pain in the cack. Say fuck it and use that computer for video editing only because that's about all it's good for. Something else I need to do is do something about my dry skin. Oh yeah, I was supposed to go to Canadian Tire today. But yeah, my dry skin's driving me nuts. Been having issues sleeping at night due to my skin just chapping right up and itching like a son of a bitch. I never get that problem in the summer, but man, in the winter, this house gets so dry and so freaking horrible that, well, even the cat, you pet the cat and you shock her every time you go to pet her. And same with Scruffy Fluffy Puppy Wuppy, you pet him and it's just like fucking shock therapy. And I'm pretty sure neither one of them enjoy that very much, but, you know, it happens. Well, I'm gonna head back upstairs and see if I can get this fucking computer situated. Because, yeah, it seems to be a Windows 10 catalyst control problem. So, if I can get Windows 7 on it, that'd be awesome. Or if I can get Windows 8 off that Dell and put it on it, that'd be even awesomer. So let's pitter patter and have at her, I guess. I give up. I can't find my Windows 7 disk, and the copies of Windows 7 that I'm finding to go with my serial key are not installing. So I guess this CyberpowerPC is going to be a piece of shit for a while longer. It's going to be a dedicated video editing rig because Windows 10 is the biggest piece of crap ever fucking built. I really hate it. I really wish it didn't come with it. Really wish it came with Windows 7. I wish they would have given you an option to say, don't plague my PC with an OS that doesn't work. But that was not an option. So, oh well. Looks like this thing here is a video editing rig. That's about all it's good for. That and Facebook. Because Windows 10 is the biggest piece of shit on this planet. Microsoft, do yourself a favor, give your head a shake, and then stick your fucking hand in the toilet while you finger fuck a light socket, you dumb cocksucking fuckfaces. So I started doing some e-shopping at Canadian Tire and I noticed this thing here for a heater just clips onto a barbecue tank, 32,000 botanical turbo units of heat. I know, it's British thermal units, people. I'm trying to be funny for fuck's sakes. Apparently you're not allowed to do that on YouTube. But anyway, 32,000 BTU, they say it'll heat up an 800 square foot location, which that's pretty much my house. My house is only 934 square feet. But I want this for the garage. Now I was looking at the single parable heater, and like this one here, you notice it's got a 4-star review. If I go to the single jobby here, the same company, Remington, single 16,000 BTU, which says it'll do 400 square feet, which seems like the garage, you'll notice here it's only got a 2-star review. And when I read them, it's not very promising. Like, look at this. Will not even screw onto a 20-pound tank. Straight back to the store. That's scary. You know, it worked when I bought it, but then less than a year later, it's erratic and unreliable. I think it's got something to do with the safety tip-over switch. That's not cool. And then you go a little bit further down here, and you got, sometimes it will stay light, or probably meant lit, but need to count on it working and cannot. Total waste of money. That's scary. And you got, this thing's pretty expensive for performance. Like other reviews, when it works well. Keeping it lit is the problem. It is only very sensitive, and you cannot touch it at all or it will go out. Fuck. Bought this heater last winter. Used it twice ice fishing. Worked well at the time. Stored it in the original box when not being used. And over the summer, tried it again this winter to find it can't keep it lit. Not worth the money. Not impressed at all. It works after a dozen startups. It won't stay lit. Hard to turn knob to high setting. It throws the heat, so I'm returning it for another with hopes the next one works. It loses a star for that. Easy to use, fits tank securely, heats a 10 by 12 shed. And this guy here loves the fucking thing. So, I don't know. That's kind of edgy. And the thing is this one here is friggin' cheap as shit. Like, it's 35 bucks, regular $70. So that's why I was like, you know, that might do the job for the garage, to heat the garage up. I don't know how long it goes on a propane tank, a 20-pound propane tank. What does it say here? 16,000 BTUs for heater features safety tip over switch, rear burner safety guard, eliminating any potential dangers if tipped over. Uses a match light ignition when turned on. A match light, so you got to throw a match at it. And has a rough proof chrome emitter guard to spread the heat. Tank top heater includes hose and regulator with a swivel head. It doesn't really say how long you can run on a propane tank for, so like those reviews, the other thing is people might not be turning them on full blast. Like, you know, some people, like when I run the barbecue, if I don't turn the valve on the that valve right there on the tank all the way open, the barbecue doesn't run right. You got to crank the valve all the way open, and then to close it, obviously all the way closed. Some people will like just turn the valve a little bit and be like, yeah, it's open, but it's like a kitchen faucet, right? If you don't crank the faucet, you're not going to get full pressure. You're just going to get dribble. So this might do the job, but it might not. The other heater I was looking at was this guy here, and they have two in the store, but the reviews on it, people are saying it sounds like a friggin' jet turbine taking off here. Let me go to the reading here area here. We'll read the one review that's there. And the review says right here, bought this to warm up my garage before I light my wood stove. Well, that's kind of stupid. Why don't you just light your wood stove? Brings my temperatures from 0 to 20 degrees in 1 hour, which is pretty good. Not really, but okay. The heat that comes out of it is not very hot considering the unit looks pretty aggressive. It's not good for camping or ice fishing because it won't work without a power source. It's very loud. I couldn't talk to the person standing next to me. I wouldn't recommend it. Not even for the sale price. I bought a propane burner instead and it heats 20 times better. You don't need a power source. And I really don't want something that sounds like a fucking jet engine, you know, because I'm going to be vlogging while out there and I can't be sitting there vlogging over the sound. That's why, like in the car, I don't do driving vlogs in the winter very often because I have the heater going. And the heater blower motor is very, very loud, so you don't really want to listen to wah while I'm trying to talk over it because it's near impossible. So I thought that salamander style would be a good idea, but apparently it's not. The only other one that kind of caught my eye, and the whole reason why I'm doing this is because, you know, I want to get some work done in the garage while it's winter time. And the problem with the winter is it's fucking cold, and you don't really want to work in the cold. Like, for people who've never done it, it's not exactly awesome. All your tools are ice cold. You pick up a ratchet, you get frostbite. It sucks. It's a horrible time. But, you know, I got a lot of shit I want to do out there. Now, some people were like, oh, why don't you try the infrared heaters? Well, that's another problem. The infrared heaters are expensive, and they run on hydro, which is already expensive because of the Liberal government deciding to, every month, jack up the rates by another 15% because they're profiteering gluttons. So, the other option I was looking at was the one like Adrian. Adrian bought this Mr. Buddy. It's 9,000 British thermal units portable air heater. He uses that one in his trailer. And it's on, well, it's 129 bucks right now. The other option is this 18,000 BTU Big Buddy heater. Yeah, 18,000 BTUs of fucking heat out of a propane heater. And it's got a 5-star review onto it. Now, some people said they take this shit ice fishing when they're sitting out on the friggin' ice, just giving her, and they said it works great, and like that's in wide open exposure air and it's just blasting heat on them, so that's pretty cool. But the only thing that's not cool is that $209 price tag. But right here, Big Buddy heater has 3 heat settings, 4,000, 9,000, and 1,800 BTU per hour. Heats up to 400 square feet for 3.5 hours with a 1-pound propane cylinder. That's the little green camping cylinders, eh? Or 220 hours with a 20-pound propane tank with optional hose connection at low setting. 220 hours, like you crank her, right? get the garage up to heat, and then you just put her on trickle mode for 9,000 and just to maintain the heat. That might work. Combines radiant heat comfort with conventional heat airflow. Not sure exactly what that means. I don't think it has a blower motor because I didn't see any batteries or power adapter on it. It doesn't say on here that you need any that it has any switches or anything. What I like here is it has a built-in tip over switch with a low oxygen shutoff sensor. So if me cranking that window open isn't good enough, the moment the oxygen level gets too low, it'll turn itself off to prevent me from passing out from monoxide poisoning. So that's probably a cool feature. And the multi-position heat. So I was thinking this jobby here would do the job, but you know, I really don't know. Like, I don't know how much I want to be out in the garage in the cold. Because like the Caro World works, but at the same time it doesn't. It's not the greatest heater on the planet. It's better than nothing. But without having like the air being forced through it, I don't know. It just, and putting a fan in front of it doesn't really work, because it's just forcing cold air through. The air doesn't sit in it long enough to heat up. I don't know, it's not as efficient as I hoped. It'd probably be good if the garage wasn't holier than a church, but you know, she's a fucking holy garage. Lots of holes into it. And the other one they have here is a 12,000 BTU portable Mr. Buddy unit for $154.99. And the Caro World radiant heating, like, this is what I have in the garage now, the Caro World radiant kerosene heater, okay? That's exactly the unit that I have in the garage now, and it got a 4-star rating once it opens up here. And now it says, whoop, back it up, it says it's 10,000 BTUs per hour. So, I don't know. And it's like rugged steel frame, heavy gauge cabinet, two-tone paint, whatever. I'm trying to see if it says what it can heat for a room. And it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't. Automatic overheat shutoff system. Yeah, you know what? I never seen that. So, I don't know. And it got, did it get good reviews? Yeah, and it got really good reviews, and that's what I have already. So this person here is like, I have a cottage in the northwestern Quebec and near Rouen, whatever. We like heading up there in the winter from time to time. I have an oil stove, but with a wife and kids, I bought this just in case. Took the wood stove out, just, okay, anyway. Well, the minus 43 was just in case. It helped the oil stove, and the heat window was cracked for good airflow. But was previously post-mentioned, it does make the camp smell of kerosene. Wife did not like that, and that's true. You get that smell of kerosene in the garage too. This person's like, it does work like a charm. Light it and extinguish it outside because there's a strong kerosene smell when you light and extinguish it. The casing remains cool to the touch, so no worries about getting burnt. But my biggest complaint about this thing is it doesn't really work well in the garage. It takes a long time for this fucker to heat up the garage. So, I don't know. So, like, before I run off the crappy tire and buy a heater, I need some input here, people. What do you think about those parabolic heaters, those the first ones I showed you? Did you find they worked well? Because, like, I don't really want to go out to get a heater just to find out it's a piece of shit. Because I'm probably going to buy, if I buy one of those parabolic heaters, I'm going to buy a propane tank just for it, for the winter, and then probably use it in the summer on the barbecue. But in the winter, I would just use that. But my other big question is how often will I be in the garage doing shit? You know? I don't know. I can't really explain that or tell you, because I'm not out there very often. But when I am out there, if I decide to go out there and work on the mini bike, or like whenever I get that engine for the mini bike off of Ironman, that's when I want to start putting together the plate and getting it all hooked up and getting the clutch on it, and you know, basically getting that bike back up to running condition. That, or if Crappy Tire ever has a sale on the Rado engines, I'm probably just going to say fuck it and buy one of those and stab it on there and be done, because those engines work great. And one day, like, I also would like to tear into that 6.5 horse that blew its shit up, so I can see what went wrong, chances are it's just the seal around the crank that needs to be replaced, and the seal on obviously the gasket around the actual casing. I'd replace that too, and that's about a $20 fix. And I can probably get that 6.5 horse up and running, but while I got it open up, I might as well inspect the insides and make sure everything's all hunky-dory and copacetic before I get too carried away. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about those heaters and stuff, and if you had any experience with them. I really don't. All I've ever used was electric heat, and well, electricity is expensive, and I don't fucking feel like dealing with the cost of that anymore. So let me know what you think of that in the comments below, and we'll see what we do. The other option is I say fuck it, we don't do anything until the weather smartens up, because yeah, working in the cold sucks, and unless you lived in northern Ontario or a place where it gets super cold, you wouldn't know what it's like. And what I mean by super cold is right now it's minus 20 C out, which according to my C to Fahrenheit converter, you're looking at minus 4 Fahrenheit. So that's not exactly a comfortable weather to be outside working with metal tools and such. Mind you, welding tends to throw a lot of heat, but some people said you shouldn't weld when the metals are that cold, because of apparently it doesn't work or causes the metal to crack or something. Going from cold to hot really quick causes problems, so you kind of want a warm environment when you're welding. But I don't know, I'm not a pro welder. I'm just going by what I read. I could be off my rocker on that one, I don't know. But yeah, it is what it is. Alrighty, well, I'm gonna go make myself something to eat for supper. What? I don't know yet, but we're gonna figure something out. I just stepped on my dog because he forgot to move out of my way. They're calling for a boatload of snow. They're calling for 30 centimeters of snow tomorrow. That's a foot, people. And Rex wants to go look at a motorbike in frickin' Bracebridge. So we're gonna go do that tomorrow. So that should be exciting. A little road trip action for the vlog, eh? About time we do something besides sitting in this house all the time and actually get out on the road. What the fuck can I make for dinner tonight? Well, I guess we can do tornadoes and onion rings. That'll work. That sounds exciting. What do you guys say? It doesn't matter what you say! I'm kidding, it matters sometimes. But, gonna go ahead and fire up the grill. We're gonna get the air fryer going up in this bitch. Have some tornadoes and onion rings. Alrighty, there they be. Drop them in the guy and crank it over for 15 fucking minutes. So tomorrow I gotta be up at the crack of 6 a.m., which means I'll be up before this vlog goes live. How awesome is that? And hitting the road at 6:30ish, heading off to Bracebridge to go look at this bike. It's I can't remember now, XJ750 I think is the thing. 750 cc's. There's basically a side profile of what the bike could look like, or looks like I should say, you know, from the rear. It's actually a nice looking bike. From the front, we're gonna go look at it, but he's got to get rid of it because he's moving out of province and he can't bring it with him. So he's given a real wicked deal on it. So I'm not gonna tell you the price yet, but a real wicked deal. And I don't know, Rex has an idea of turning it into a cafe racer, but I don't know, he told me if I wanted it for my first bike, motorbike, because I really want to get my motorcycle license. Now, if you guys have been following the Grand Theft Auto streams, I don't blame you if you don't, if that's not your cup of tea, but I'm just saying, I've been talking about in the streams how I've been wanting to get into riding motorbike on the street, like a street bike, and I don't want to really break the bank, but I was looking at a bike at Honda called the CF300B or something like that, CF300. Anyway, or CB300F, I think it's called. Anyway, it's like a little sport touring bike. But they wanted $4,700 fucking dollars brand new for that. And I don't know if I should buy a brand new bike for my first bike, right? Especially a 300cc bike. Because, you know, it'd be great around town, but on the highway, the biggest complaints is there's no windshield, no wind deflector. So you tend to get all that wind blasting you in the body, and you tend to get a little bit fatigued from riding. Not like I'm saying I'm going to be taking this shit on the highway right away. But like in the summer, you know, if I get my parents to watch Cookie Monster, you know, take a rip down the blokes on a motorbike, that'd be probably kind of fun, you know. Obviously wouldn't have tunes to listen to and couldn't vape on the way down, but whatever. But yeah, so I was thinking one of these would be kind of cool because the price is like really cheap. Apparently it's well kept after. It's just Buddy's got to liquidate it, otherwise he can't take it with him and he's got to abandon it. So if I like what I see and shit, maybe I might pick it up, because Rex is still humming and hawing about it, and he told me if I want it, I'll take it. But if I decide, no, that's not for me, then he said by all means he'll jump on it, and he'll fucking do Cafe Racer or something out of it, so there'll be more videos for his channel. But apparently it doesn't need anything from what he told me. He goes, it might be a little bit dirty and whatnot because it's sat for the winter. But, you know, that's nothing a rag and a garden hose can't clean off. Obviously not right now because it's fucking winter, but, you know, come the spring. So what I was thinking about doing was, there's a motorcycle course here in town, and it's at the college, and that's in May. So I was thinking about riding my M1 in March, which is good for 90 days, and then but you can't go for your M2 until you've had your M1 for 60 days. So you write your M1 in March, and then you go do the course in May, and at the end of May you get your M2, which is part of the course deal, and then you're legally allowed to basically ride a motorcycle as long as you're not under the influence of alcohol. You can't have any alcohol in your body. But an M2 and an M is pretty much the same except for the alcohol restrictions, which is fine because I don't believe in having any alcohol in your body while operating a motorized vehicle on the streets. For safety purposes, because you're not the only one endangering your life, you're endangering everyone's frickin' life on the road. So that's my own personal thing. Some people probably disagree with me. If they do, they're probably stupid, but I don't believe in having any liquor in your body while you drive or operate a motorized vehicle, especially a motorbike. When, you know, in a car, you're protected by the car's walls and roof and glass and all that shit, where on a motorbike, you're protected by the jacket you wear, the pants you wear, the boots you wear, and the gloves you wear. You don't wear proper attire, you take a tumble, you're gonna fuck your shit up 3 ways to Sunday. Unless it's a mini bike, because they don't go fast, and when you fall you don't have far to go. But on a street bike, that's a whole different scenario. So I recommend not operating one of those while you're loaded, because you'll probably die in a horrible fire. So that's basically what we're going to go look at, is that tomorrow, so that should be pretty awesome. And whether or not I decide to pick it up for my first bike, well, that'll be decided then. I guess I'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I guess now what we're going to do is wait for dinner to be done and go from there. And I know when my mom watches this vlog, she's going to contact me like, "You're not buying a fucking motorbike, are you crazy?" Yeah, I'm a little crazy, Mom. I'm a little crazy. I've been wanting a motorbike now. I've been talking about it for 6 fucking years. And that's before I've been, actually longer than that. I've been wanting a motorbike since 2006, so that's 10 years. I've been talking to my buddy Angry Joe about it. He's got his M-Class and he's got a motorbike and he loves it. I've always wanted to get on one, but I always had this nagging thing in the back of my head telling me I can't ride a motorcycle, but I kicked her to the curb 3 years ago, so that nagging thing's gone. So there's no reason for me not to get on a motorbike now. So anyway, that's the plan. We're going to go look at a motorcycle tomorrow. Hopefully we make it, because like I said, we're getting some severe fucking snow, so here's hoping we can keep her on the road, not in the cabbage patch. But to test Rex's driving capabilities in a Sunflower, I guess, tomorrow, eh? Fuck yeah. Alrighty, well the air fryer's got to be done about like my battery. I got 3 minutes of video left, so I got to hurry up, grab this shit out of the air fryer and wrap this video up. Check it, check it, check it. Oh yeah! So I'm going to go ahead and drive that in my face and probably call her a night, because I got to get to bed in a couple hours and get up tomorrow bright and early to go motorcycle shopping, so... On that note, people, I'm shutting the vlog down here. Might shoot 2 videos tomorrow, I don't know, we'll see. But that's all she wrote for today, so on that note, thanks for coming out. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. I know it wasn't action-packed, but tomorrow's might make up for that, so thanks for coming out. Like, favorite, and comment as always, and until next time, people, keep on vlogging.